While the connection between the muscles and the brain is a concept mostly discussed in the health and wellness space on the personal lifestyle level, it is moving to see large-scale implementations of these exact same principles. Since the muscles that we control can be used to impact the chemicals in our brain for the better, this relationship can be leveraged to improve cognitive and mental health over entire populations, not just individuals. A prime example of this is the changes that have occurred inside Asian schools in the past couple of decades. As more research and evidence for physical activity benefiting the mind accumulate, school systems across Asia have started to take the role of fitness and exercise much more seriously. Student populations that are more physically active perform better overall academically. In Taiwan, the required amount of physical education was increased for this reason. In China, school days have been extended to allow more time for physical activity. One of the reasons I find these policies so relevant is because of how much academic performance is valued in these countries. In order to make such systemic and big decisions, there must be a massive consensus of educated government officials and scientists sustaining these efforts. In fact, we can look at the research ourselves and see just how powerful the effects of movement on learning and cognitive health are. In a 2007 study called High Impact Running Improves Learning by Winter et al., we can see that subjects who did high-intensity exercise beforehand could learn vocabulary words 20% faster than the control group. Since then, many more studies have explored the relationship between physical activity and learning. A 2023 systematic review of this topic from James et al. Found positive correlations in several countries and across many experiments. These fascinating neuroplastic effects of exercise are something to be discussed in more detail another day, but for now, the moral of the story is that exercise is a crucial ingredient in optimal learning and academic cognitive function. These results are not only taken seriously internationally. The California Department of Education has consistently shown that students with higher fitness scores have higher test scores. Exercise improves students' abilities to focus and retain information. It is a valuable primer for learning, and leaders across education globally are recognizing it. All this being said, it is important to touch on the role of confounding variables and inequity. These studies fail to account for subjects on an individual level, where disadvantaged circumstances may be responsible for reduced amounts of physical activity and/or worse academic performance. For example, a 12-year-old child living in a poor rural Cambodian household may not have the time to exercise because they need to work and may perform poorly in school because of lack of educational resources or even things like malnutrition. On paper, research in this field makes it seem like the low exercise is exclusively responsible for the subpar performance, which is almost certainly an inaccurate extrapolation. Factors such as these likely do not account for the overall positive relationship between physical activity and cognitive performance, but they must not be overlooked. While it is clear that physical activity is a huge asset to learning and education, looking at these large data sets can lead to generalizations and a skewed perception of the individuals that make it up. So, by being considerate of its limitations, we can remain open-minded and empathetic. So, yeah, there's another piece of the puzzle in the muscle-mind axis. Moving our bodies intentionally benefits our brain, and big, high-stakes organizations feel the same way. To me, that knowledge is a big confidence boost to treasure the muscle-mind axis and recognize the powerful implication it has on our mental health and ability to learn.